Yo, what's good? Next your name Amolytics. Happy Friday today, September 19th. Today I'll be dropping my first NFL video of the year. Just been focused on baseball. I haven't had much time to jump into the NFL, but I am now. I'll start dropping these weekly, more than likely on Fridays as it is today. The scope of this being I'll drop any money lines or spreads that I like. Then I'll also drop player props. In addition to that, I'll drop any anytime touchdown scores that I like as well. Starting out, I like Houston money line against Jacksonville in Jacksonville. I believe this is a step down in competition for them. They had two tough losses on this year so far, being the Rams, and then they also lost against Tampa Bay. Both close games. Lost the last second against Tampa Bay last week. I don't think the Jags are on either of those teams' levels. The Jags beat Carolina to start out. Really don't give that any weight at all. And then they lost to Cincy's backup last week. So, division game. I like this for Texas. I don't see anybody stopping Collins here. So Stroud should be spamming, Collins with targets if you want to target him for, some player props there. But I believe that, they can take this game. Plus 110, is a great price for this. If you're not comfortable with the money line, you can do the spread. They were plus 1.5 at minus 105 on ESPN Bet. That was the best price for that if you wanted to take that. But I am taking the money line. So that is my money line of the week. And then my player props. I like Bucky Irving of Tampa Bay going against the Jets over 70.5 rushing yards. I believe this is a good spot for him. This should be a positive game script for Tampa Bay here against the Jets. They let Aaron Rodgers look like he was back in his prime. So I see Baker doing his thing here. And them being up, they're gonna spam Bucky with a bunch of rushes here. He's seeing the field 73% of the snaps, so he's on the field quite a bit. This is a great spot for him. Had 14 carries week 1, and then 17 last week. Went 17 for 71 last week, and then 14 for 37 against Atlanta. So not a great game there, but still seen a bunch of usage. And against the Jets, I'm not necessarily worried about their defense by any means. Bucky is minus 111 on DraftKings for over 70.5 rushing yards. But next up, I like Ceedee Lamb over 81.5 receiving yards, minus 114 on Fanduel. He's over this his last 5 out of 5. Seeing the ball quite a bit, has 24 targets, in these first 2 games, has a 28.5 target share, 300 over 300 air yards. If you don't know what air yards are, they're essentially the distance from the point of the quarterback throwing the ball to where the receiver is. So love that. And against the Bears, this should be a shootout. They're missing Johnson. I forgot his first name. Their number 1 corner there. Don't really see anybody else guarding Ceedee. As I mentioned, a lot of targets, in a game that I believe the over-under was 50.5 or maybe 51.5. Maybe it might have went up. Let me check on that. Make sure real quick. But anyway, very high total there in a game where the spread is minus 1.5 maybe. So it's going to be a neutral script on both. So you're going to see a bunch of. So it's over 49.5. You can get it at, but it started at over 47.5 to begin with. So total is going up. Both these defenses aren't necessarily good. And as I mentioned, the target share is there for Ceedee to have a great game here. So taking both of those straight, Ceedee being minus 114 on FanDuel, and then Bucky minus 111 on DraftKings. Those are my 2 player props straights. Then touchdown wise, I'm going back to Bucky. I believe Bucky scores here against the Jets. As I mentioned, this should be a positive script for them. Run the clock out, should see a lot of carries, and also gets involved in the passing game too, being that he had 4 targets week 1, 6 targets last week. I like the spot for Bucky to score here against the Jets. And then I'm also going Kenneth Walker of Seattle going against the Saints. I believe Seattle was favored at minus 6.5, 6.5 or 5.5. Sorry, but either way, almost a touchdown there. They should be up here, and even if they're not, I see this maybe being a neutral script. Maybe Saints play a little bit better in some neutral script here. He's still going to see, the bulk load of the carries. Charbonnet, his backup, is out, so he should see even an increase in carries here, especially the red zone opportunities from the running back position. I am parlaying those together at minus, not minus, I'm sorry, but Bucky's minus 125 and Kenneth Walker is at minus 185. You put those together, that's plus 177 on DraftKings. That was the best price that I saw for that parlayed. But that is my money line. Houston plus 110. Bucky over 70.5. Minus 111 on DraftKings. Lamb over 81.5 receiving yards. Minus 114 on Fanduel. And then parlayed together Bucky and Kenneth Walker plus 177 anytime touchdown. If you have any comments that you want to see on these videos, the scope of it or the structure of it, please let me know. I'm open to suggestions at any time. Please like, comment, and share these videos. Subscribe as well. Turn on your notifications so you can be notified when I post. Let's have one.